of my colleagues called me up today and he said, Frank, I got a question for you. I said, yeah, what's up? He said, how do you stay so motivated and on task with your investments? You invest every single paycheck. You invest money every single paycheck, because me and him have had these conversations. I said, yes, I do. He said, how do you stay so motivated to do that? Is there anything you ever want to buy, go spend money on? And I'm like, yes, I do. But I've been investing for so long, it's become habit. And spending money on things that are not a necessity to me, it's just not important to me. I said, the problem with you is your why is not big enough. When you have hit rock bottom and you have been rock bottom broke, you develop this fire in the pit of your stomach to where you don't want to go back down that road again. And you're going to do everything necessary to not ever go back down that road. I don't ever want to be rock bottom broke again in my life. That is a dark place I never ever want to revisit in my life. Real quick, guys, I gotta say this real quick. The video I released earlier today, there's a subscriber of mine, and he's been supporting me for a long time. But for some reason, he likes to push my buttons. And we go back and forth, we have fun with each other, but he loves to push my buttons sometimes. Because he made a comment on the video that I posted earlier today about the broke federal worker. And he said, Frank, there's probably some federal workers out there who has more money than you. And he's probably right. And there's probably a lot of federal workers out there that's broke too. And that's probably right. Matter of fact, I know it's right. Because a lot of them were standing in the food service lines because they needed help during the government layoff. They needed help during the government layoff. So I know there's a lot of federal workers who are broke. But that's besides the point. The point is, I've never got on here and said I'm the wealthiest person. I run my own race. I'm not concerned about other people. I get on here and I make videos as learning tools for all of us of what not to do. I've never proclaimed to be the richest person. I've never proclaimed to be the wealthiest person. There's people out here who have higher of a net worth than me. I'm sure there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. But I've never got on here and proclaimed to be the wealthiest person. But you know what? I run my own race. And Frank is wealthy. I don't worry about money. I do very well. Frank does very well, and Frank don't worry about money. So I don't need anybody in my comments telling me that there's somebody that has more money than me. I know there is. I know there is. I know there's wealthier people than me in this world. I'm not naive to that fact. But I do very well myself. So let me get back to like I was talking to my friend. So I told him I've been rock bottom broke. And I don't ever want to see those days again. So I thought about a time when I was rock bottom broke that I wanted to tell you guys about. I remember when I got married, guys. Me and my ex-wife, we went to Vegas to get married, right? And we didn't go to Vegas because we just thought it was a cool thing to do, right? We went to Vegas because we was broke as shit. That's why we went to Vegas, guys. We went to Vegas because we was broke as a damn joke. That's why we went to Vegas to get married. Because we can go out there very cheap and get married. And that's what we did back in 2008. But I almost ruined our wedding day. Almost ruined the wedding day. We went to a little chapel in Vegas, right? And of course, they, had the minister there to marry us. Um, we had her sister came out as a witness, and a couple of our friends came out as witnesses. So when we got married, we hired they had a photographer there, right, taking pictures, right, and the photographer took a whole lot of pictures, right, inside the chapel, outside the chapel, different poses, whatnot, right. So when it was all said and done, my wife wanted pictures, right? So she could either pick out, I think it was like 10 of the best pictures for like $100, or get the whole CD of the entire like 200 photos he took, and it was like $500, right? Guys, don't you know, we were so damn broke. I told my wife she could only, my ex-wife, told my ex-wife she could only pick out the 10 pictures because we was broke. And we had a small little argument outside, and I was stressing out. I know we didn't have the money. I'm mad. It's our wedding day. It was like 110 degrees in Vegas. It was a mess. It was a mess. And then my wife at the time, she was upset. Then I just said, you know what? Just get the whole CD. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. But guys, I almost ruined the wedding day over $500. $500 almost ruined our wedding day because we were broke. We were broke. Right now to this day, with all of the financial issues individuals are having right now, guess what most of them have in common? They have no money. And if you was to take and give all of these individuals that are broke right now a few thousands of dollars, that would change their life. That would change their life. So as I told my friend, I said, you know what? Your why isn't big enough. Because I've been so broke, I couldn't see straight. I've been rock bottom broke. And I never want to revisit that dark place ever again. I never want to revisit that again. Never. So like I explained to him, until your why gets big enough, you'll never be committed to investing the way I am committed to investing. I'm a unicorn. I am a unicorn. And only unicorns will invest like I invest. So guys, that's just my quick talk, my quick motivator. Please remember to like the video, share the video, and most important, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, Frank Talks Money. And with that, guys, always remember, financial decisions you make today will impact your financial life tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Frank Talks Money. I'm out here.